Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will be on right after these songs. Tommy Torettic. See, I don't like doing this, but I'm gonna teach you a little bit about the world. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to the shop of Anonymous. I swear I don't want anything to do with this, I promise this. You hear me screaming from the top, I'm dropping knowledge. Is a barrel's too far gone for a rookie, so I'm calling this. Game over for you chumps, the grind is all I know and do. Breathing fire like a dragon's or new power coming through. Yeah, I'm working 3 jobs so that I can frack that crew. The money you dummy, I'm no honey, get take that love from me. Going to the future and never coming back. Marty McFly, now more like his dad. Trying to be calm, all this news is just whack. Propaganda flying, so know everybody mad. Empathy is gone, so we all for attack. If you disagree, you're just stupid and sad. Use intolerance, or must be smoking crack. Ignorance is bliss, y'all, just to die, yeah. 2 sides of the same coin, killer. Why we ever stop living up for pillars? Acting like everything in life must be a thriller. We're living in a world written by Frank Miller. Cause the Dark Knight's return, so now we churn. See our heroes messed up and now we spurn them because it pisses us off and now we burn their careers alive to the ground. Cause we yearn to be in their position so that we earn millions and millions and millions. But then we turn it to the very thing we hate. Now we revert and we refer to the lines that we rehearse. Spread love and forgiveness only to sing deeper. What did we learn? Distract myself from the world. Water, earth, fire, air, swirl. Bend it to your will, then hurl. Flying buffalo, why don't you give it a whirl? Grab a saber, then just twirl. Force cut a pear, give her a pearl. Power unleashes a churl. Join the dark side with me. Guess it's time I get back to work. Captain of my own enterprise, call me Kirk. Anger and depression always seem to lurk. Round every corner, so I write this just a perk. Everybody moved up, cause we screwed up. Living in a country where we shoot up. Anybody disagree, just to move up the food chain where you grew up. Otherwise they beat you down cause you used up. Time to boot up, new mindset program. Think you knew us, but you shoe us. You only care about us to subdue us, just to screw us. Living in a country full of Judas. Stab you in the back, USA or Brutus. Call them Lucius. Bringing out the Dark Knight, now we tuned up. Time to scoop up any positivity. While the masses all left clueless. They can only catch your speed, Mr. New One's opportunist. Leave them naked in the ground, talking ruthless. I am ruthless. Visions full of kid grown ghoulish, broken ruthless. Spitting problems like Confucius, call me Tommy Torettic or Nostradamus.
Who this? Who this? Who this? Who this? Who this?
Walking down the street, chickens blowing kisses. Never thought I'd end up 28 without a missus. Yet here we are, yeah, it's totally a thing. Making this movie about my life in quarantine. Started out hype, living life as a pirate. Then it got eclectic as time began to riot. Filmed my thoughts, what a terrible idea. Had a party over Zoom and got diarrhea. Ran out of toilet paper, life felt like forfeit. Turn on the news, an invasion of hornets. That's when it really truly started to unravel. I truly wish I could go motherfracking travel like toilet paper Jesus. Toilet paper Jesus. Toilet paper Jesus. Toilet paper Jesus. I wanna be a vagabond, maybe I'm a Cylon. I should have killed them hornets with a motherfracking mask on. Covered in ketchup, man, I think I messed up. Need a therapist that will help me fill my loving cup. No, not with beer, they really need to steer this conversation with myself a light year away from beer that need to poop and seize us. Sorry socks, it don't please us. Holy fracking crap, is that toilet paper Jesus? Toilet paper Jesus. 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 gentlemen, it is low-key day, May 12th, 2021. Welcome to episode 56 of Lights, Thunder, Action, where every week, two Thunder Buddies discuss all things Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and the latest happenings in the entertainment industry. I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
And I'm David Thompson, and today we've got a big show for you guys, a Venom-filled show. Me and Thomas went ahead and decided we had kind of some words, some rumors circulating this weekend that, hey, the Venom 2 trailer, Let There Be Carnage, was going to drop on Monday. It ended up that it did. So we're going to talk about that and what the news, of course. And then at the end of the show, in the main topic, we're going to talk about the first Venom movie, kind of get into that, remind everyone about that movie, if it's good or what. And more importantly, guys, we have a very special reveal coming right up. We are revealing our brand new logo for Lights Thunder Action, which we cannot wait to share with you. That will be coming up in just a moment. But before then, Thomas, what do you got for me?
So, every week we're live streaming directly into your homes and phones via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can find all of our links at LightsThunderAction, Linktree. That's wrong. Linktree.com/LightsThunderAction, where you'll be able to find links to all of the HWWS WebTV channel, their Facebook, their YouTube, their Twitch, I believe we're streaming to. Maybe even their Twitter. I don't recall.
We're on a lot of things.
We're on a lot of things. We're everywhere. So that is where you can find us. David, where can the audio listeners find all of our new audio podcasts?
Yeah, you guys can find our audio podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and our hosting site, Spreaker. So there's some explanation to go on here. So we just transferred feeds. So if you already subscribed on Apple Podcasts, you're set. You don't have to do anything. If you're an audio listener, first off, everything's up to date now. Welcome back if you are an audio listener listening right now. Thank you for joining us. We're back. I'll have this one up very soon as well. But Apple Podcasts, there is no hiccups.
That was late, but we got there.
And on Spotify, I think it's a little bit of a different story. There should soon, it'll be very easy to recognize because I'm going to change the logo for one of them, and the new logo will be the new feed. So it'll be very easy to find, but there might, for a little bit, be two Lights Thunder Action streams, or I guess feeds on Spotify. You got to look for the one that's going to have the new logo on it, that's going to have the more recent episodes up to 55 and soon to be 56. The old abandoned one basically is only up to 48. There's a bunch of other sites we're streaming on. I always say Apple, Google, and Spotify, and Spreaker, because that's our hosting site. But we're on a lot of different things. Brian Wensloff in the comments has pointed out that we are on Amazon and iHeart. So wherever you listen to us, you can really find us wherever you listen to podcasts. I just know those two specifically I had examples for. Haven't checked out Google Podcasts, but please, anyone who is a regular audio listener, if you don't want to look at our ugly mugs and you listen to the audio version, you're going for a run, driving your car, want to listen to us later, let me know. I kind of work on that sort of part of the show, so let me know if there's any hiccups, because we are in still kind of this transferring mode, but everything should be straightened out for the most part, I would say.
Because we're on Amazon and iHeartRadio, that means I now have to, because I forgot that we're on those amazing distributors.
Yes.
Well, that means I have to make another new graphic.
This is where the fun begins.
Oh, yeah. I have had some fun with graphics, and you'll get to see them soon. Why are they going to get to see them soon, David?
Well, because we have a new logo, ladies and gentlemen.
Logo.
And so it's very exciting. We've had our same logo since inception over a year ago. I made the logo initially. I let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I am no graphic designer, but I got pretty good response from the logo I whipped up for this show. I still love it. I think it's definitely going to be a logo, our classic Lights Thunder Action with the different fonts. I think it'll be something that, there's t-shirts out there in the wild. It's something that's still going to be around our show, but we thought it'd be a fun time to get some new fresh blood in and hire someone, ask someone else to create a logo for us that has a bit more artistic flair than me and Thomas do, at least when it comes to actual illustrations and making things just look super, super cool. We cannot wait to show you it in just a second. Thomas, if you have anything to say, or we can just go ahead and play the video.
Nobody wants to hear me talk.
Hello, LightsThunderAction viewers. My name is Tom, and I'm the artist behind the new podcast artwork. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it onto the show live, since I'll probably be asleep by the time you're hearing this, but I just wanted to give a massive thank you to David and Thomas for giving me the opportunity to do this for them. It's been an absolute privilege, an honor, a joy just to do this artwork for them, and I'm really just happy to be involved. If you by any chance want to see any more of my artwork, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at TomDrewArt, or go to my website, www.tomdrewart.com. I do a bunch of fan art of many of the things that David and Thomas chat about, so if that interests you, come on down, we'll have a bloody good time. Anyway, hopefully I can make it onto the show one of these days to hang out with you guys. But yeah, until then, on with the show.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tom Drew from thedirect.com. You
got scared, didn't you?
Pump fake. That was Dak Prescott week 1, Thursday night against the Bucks. Pump fake right there, Thomas.
Suck it, Brady. We're coming after you.
Anyway, Tom Drew, he writes for thedirect.com where I write. Guys, if you guys follow me, he's a great illustrator. Go check out his website, www.tomdrewart.com. He has great art. He's had some really cool feature articles on the direct that like we use his illustration to tell the story basically, and it's super rad. That's why I wanted him to do our logo. So if you're familiar with his art, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. And whenever you're ready, Thomas.
Well, we can't do anything without a good old drum roll, right? You know? Oh, we got added. You know what? There's no drum roll needed. Look at this. I don't know about you, but I have never looked better.
Same, man. Same.
First off, he got my shirt down to a T. I should have wore that shirt. I should have prepped better, but I was feeling a little bit Dark Knight.
Yeah. I actually have a similar... Yeah, nice. I actually have a similar Spider-Man shirt that's in the logo, and I didn't wear that one, but I couldn't find it, so I wore this one that's similar-ish. But yeah, Thomas, if you want to pull it back up again, I don't know the best way of doing it.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. Just kind of talking about it, like it looks like us, but also cartoonish in the best way possible, where like I've always wanted to see myself like illustrated like that. And he really nails it. You know, of course, I wanted like a suit because I kind of thought it represented our show a bit. Where like I'm, I guess, more of the serious side, even though I still am pretty crazy about this kind of thing. And Thomas is more of he brings on the Thories every week, and you know, a little more colorful. And I just think like
crazy is what he said.
You know, I think he really embodied the show in a lot of ways, the lightning and the mics, and I think it looks awesome, guys. Please let us know what you think. Truly, I think it's great.
Comments are blowing up. Terry McIver says, "Fantastic work, Tom Drew." If you're not watching this, you've already seen the logo because you're listening to the audio version with the new logo there. Brian Winzeloff, good old pal. Brian Winzeloff from Reels and Heels is asking, "When's the comic coming out?" Tom Drew, at us. Like, that's a good idea. I know David wants to write a comic, so
one day for sure. Yeah, I mean, and he has a great comic book style for sure. That's a really good point.
Yes, and then David's like a cross between Clark Kent and Peter Parker. Freudian slip. Damn, I wish we could like animate ourselves and just do the whole podcast animated.
Dude, that'd be sweet. One day we do an anime. We do an animated show. we do a full animation. It's just a show of us for like 5 minutes.
Right, that would be fantastic. Wow. So, David, aside from this amazing new logo, How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of half distracted right now because I wanted this to be a big reveal, and now I'm out here sharing the logo everywhere. So, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. Work's fine. Still up here in Gainesville, living life. The Colts, the whole NFL schedule reveals tonight, and I'm excited. A lot of it's already kind of like trickled out, but I'm excited to see more of that. But yeah, I'm doing good. Healthy, happy. Things are looking better. Going to the movies tomorrow night with my girlfriend. We're seeing some random movie that she wanted to go see. What is it called again? I forget. I'll say it later. And it'll be out of complete context. But yeah, excited. Been back to the theater a few times. Things are looking up. I'm excited. Like time's really been flying for me, honestly. And the good news about that is soon, how my brain works. Soon we'll be 6 months away from Spider-Man No Way Home. And I just cannot wait for that. Obviously, I can't wait for any of this stuff to come out. Loki's in 4 weeks, and then boom, 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 boom. In the middle of Loki, we'll have Black Widow. Then we'll have Shang-Chi. Then we'll have Eternals. The MCU movies in general are ramping up. The box office is going to be ramping up, which we're going to talk about a little bit later about the box office a little bit with one of our news pieces. But Thomas, enough about me. How you doing, man?
I am fantastic. I have been up since 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. It was a 4 a.m. work shift, so I have been rather exhausted. I can't turn off the accent now. We're just fucking stuck here. While we're here, it sounds way better than my normal voice. Thank you, Tom fucking Drew. That is amazing work.
Tom does have a great voice.
Is that better? Yes, that's better. I got it. I got the normal voice back. I'm good, man. I'm exhausted. As you can tell, I'm zany. I was hoping to hang out with a friend today and talk nerd stuff. So then I was like, I'd be prepped a little bit. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So now it's all getting unleashed here on the podcast. It's going to be a wild time. Wait until we get to... David, have you been watching anything of note?
Yeah, it's funny actually. So I was just watching Spider-Man Far From Home. I didn't finish it, but I was just watching it before we went live. I had some discussions with some people over the direct. Matt Rimke, who's been on the show, we were kind of talking about it a little bit.
Captain Matt Rim.
Oh, Matt's in the comments.
AKA Threads guy. Threads guy in the comment?
Can't cancel the show and talk. No, it's funny is he's been watching, I think, the first one just today. But yeah, I was watching Far From Home. It was fun. I was kind of complaining about, it was funny watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I kept thinking I would need to rewatch Far From Home with this new light of a different angle from this post-blip world in the MCU. And kind of stitch things together in my head. So I was kind of doing that. There's some things where I'm like, my head canon is still that Sam Wilson becomes Captain America while they're in Europe, because otherwise my brain splits in half and it's annoying. So that's my head canon. But yeah, I watched that. I rewatched X-Men Days of Future Past the other day, and I love that movie. Actually, we talked about it a little bit on the Direct podcast a couple weeks ago when we did that non-MCU Marvel draft. And that came, I think Liam picked it in the first round, and we just started talking about it. I wrote about it in an article up on the direct.com about time travel movies that you should watch before Loki. Go check that out. But I read that writing, thank you. I had a great time writing it. When I got to that part, I was like, oh yeah, it was such a cool story. And yeah, rewatching it, it's a really great movie. It's definitely my second favorite X-Men movie behind Logan. But I'm also not a crazy X-Men fan, so I'm kind of picky when it comes to those. Some of them I just haven't seen or don't even care about. But yeah, anyway, watch that.
Do you like Apocalypse?
No.
I don't understand people, dude.
You liked it?
I like it. Yeah.
I don't really half remember it though. So in all honesty, if I should probably give it another try, because I watched it once in theaters, period.
Yeah, I enjoyed it the most in theaters. I think I've seen it since then. I still enjoy it. I have fun.
I mean,
that's really the most important thing in watching movies these days. So you'll wink.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, in Days of Future Past, there was a part of me, because I remember I didn't really like Apocalypse, did not like Dark Phoenix, where it's this was such a great, it was such, it closed the chapter on the original trilogy are like, the original X-Men movies, I guess, like with X1 through 3, X1 through Last Stand, just those 3 at least, where it kind of closed that book. It rewrote, rewrote history basically. And it was such a nice little ending to it. It's almost like part of me is like, I should have just ended there. They should have done Logan and called it a quits and gave him to the MCU. But, they had the other movies, including like New Mutants, which I think stinks. But anyway, Thomas, anything of note that you've been watching?
Okay, so here's my favorite thing about our logo. It's
that
when I saw it, the first thing I thought, the first thing I thought of was, holy shit, he got the shirt exact. That's amazing. I was just blown away because I was like, oh my God, that's my shirt. But then I was like, oh, LightsThunderAction looks like it's invincible. And I got through 4 episodes of Invincible, and like I said, it's a bit much, it's awesome, but it's emotional. And then when it came to the end of the season, I got to binge all 4 episodes, and let me just tell you, this might be my new favorite thing.
Invincible
in a while, because it is
people are loving it.
Beautiful animation, gives you the feel of every kid's superhero show you've ever had. But if you took it and had the boys and optimism like shoved into an animation, that is this show. And there were plenty of times where I'm like, I gotta look away because of how violent things were getting and how gruesome it was getting.
Yeah.
David, I don't know how far you are, but I know you
just scratched the surface.
My headphones are dying, so I know you finished at least episode 1. You saw the end of that. That made me. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this show anymore. So I didn't watch an episode for a couple days, and I did the same thing with The Boys, and I love them both so much. Amazon has found its superhero niche, which is do what nobody else is doing and make that shit gritty and real. In a way,
it's smart.
A way that's unexpected. It's so good, and the best part about the show, it's just a family drama.
Yeah, and the thing was with the animation, unlike The Boys, where like even in The Boys, you can tell there's like they don't have the budget of say one of these MCU movies or MCU shows as a better example now on Disney Plus. Like you can kind of tell the budget isn't quite there, even though they use it very well. And in an animation like this, you're not putting out that much. For instance, we're gonna talk about Venom in a while. Venom, it made a ton of money. But they weren't going to take as big of risks as in these shows. They weren't going to make it rated R. They're not going to make this Carnage movie rated R, even though I think maybe a lot of fans of the characters would like to see an R-rated interpretation. But I think they push that to the edge with these Venom movies. But they don't quite, it's totally different. My point is with these Amazon shows like The Boys, Invincible, the budget, they don't have as much writing on these shows. So I think they're able to kind of lean in as creative as they want, as dark as they want, without the fear of, this is going to be a bust. If you're the MCU, or if you're Sony with Venom, you're putting a lot of money into these things, and especially with the MCU, you don't want to make bad content because you have such a great track record and resume up to this point. Like you were in the business of making, and to be honest, I think some people have criticized the MCU for this is a lot of it feels similar too. There's some similar beats within the MCU that kind of get repeated within different characters. And Amazon with The Boys and Invincible, I honestly, I think this past like week or two, I kind of got into the rhythm of like rewatching movies and not really in them. I was binging like Demon Slayer, the show, the anime for like a bit. So I'm like, I'm kind of want to take a break from watching an animated show. So I haven't really gotten into Invincible, but yeah, I was definitely hooked by the end of episode 1 and I want to dive back in deeper. And I will eventually. I don't know when, but I will whenever I guess my mood fits.
Yes, you definitely got to be in the mood for it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But once you get into a certain point, then it's like, oh fuck, now I'm just hooked on the story.
Right.
And that's what's just my favorite, man. When something's just like unexpected and it yanks me in, man. It's
Yeah.
chef's kiss, man. David, before we move on to our first break,
Sure.
I had a thought. We were talking, you're mentioning Venom and all this stuff, and you're talking about specifically that MCU has character beats that are expected. And really, if you think about it, what does The Boys and Invincible do? They hit you with deaths of characters that are unexpected.
Yeah.
We don't really get those deaths except Coulson. And technically, if
And
Agents of
Coulson
S.H.I.E.L.D. is technically not MCU canon and it's just a multiverse kind of thing, that Coulson is still dead, right?
Right.
It would just be a Coulson from another universe. So
yeah,
that is a fun little theory. What if I'm gonna ask you this now? Maybe you should save this later, but I want to ask it now. Who do you think the MCU would kill off as a character that would be unexpected and it would be lasting?
Whoa. Like point blank, probably no one, because they don't do it. They really don't. I mean, I'm gonna answer because I don't want that. That's kind of a cop out. But like in a world where I'm not dreaming it up and it's like my own creativity, like I actually logistically think they will not because they don't. Who would I think they could kill that would be lasting and unexpected?
Yes, sir.
Unexpected. That's the hard part, because I could see some where they could kill them where he'd be a little expected, like one of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the third one. Because like these characters that are kind of from the Infinity Saga, I could see some of them maybe starting to die off because they've been around for a while. But
so there's more attachment from the audience perspective.
Yeah, well, I mean, it almost be less expected than if it's like one of the Guardians, or if it's Thor, or if it's Clint in Hawkeye or something like that. Like it'd be emotional, but I don't know if it'd be necessarily unexpected. You know who I think they could. You know what I think they could kill? Who just hit the screen?
Oh God,
Monica Rambeau.
What?
Think about it, right? I'm not saying they're gonna do this. I'm just saying if there's someone unexpected you think is gonna be a person you're gonna look in the sky to 10 years from now on a big screen in an Avengers movie that they could just off. Monica was a great character in WandaVision. She could be a great character in the Marvels, but that could really, an emotional death from her could really spark better storytelling potentially for Carol and for Kamala. I don't know. I'm spitballing here, but if you want someone that's unexpected, that would be a guess of mine where I could see it makes sense and, could really drive a story forward between at least the other two Marvels in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think? You don't want an answer?
You're gonna hate me, bro.
What? No.
Peter Parker specifically, because in the MCU, they could just take the death of Peter Parker and actually tie in Miles Morales and utilize that origin. And whether that, and the only reason I mention that is because I'm like, well, like, who would be the most unexpected and who would have the most sense of story? And here's the thing that's even most important in this situation here. He might not even technically have to die.
Okay.
Like,
so kill him, but don't kill him.
He's dead, but the character is alive and well, just not in the same universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get the smoke off the back, basically. He's just like, well, I'll go to a universe where no one knows I'm Spider-Man.
Oh, I could see.
As like a last resort thing, to save Aunt May and kind of all that stuff. And that is when Miles Morales comes in, not knowing what's going on, eventually setting up. And here's the thing, he would stay dead in the MCU and no one would mention him. Nobody would know about any adventures he was having off multiverse. But that's just a fun idea I had, and that's just because I want to see Miles Morales.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will bring in Miles at some point, but I think they will do something where he's in another, multiverse, in another universe, or it'll go a la the video game where there's just two of them in the same universe, and it's kind of a new rendition. which they handle really well, at least so far in the video game universe. But yeah, I think, I don't think they would kill Peter just because, honestly, unlike Amazon and stuff, money. And beyond anything else, with like a fan outrage and anything else, I think money would be the driving factor. But yeah, so Monica Rambeau and Spider-Man are our two answers.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Really quick before we jump to the stuff, there's comment. The Boys season 3 coming later this year from Brian Winslow. Thank you.
Yeah, they're filming it right now.
Kind of forget that we're in 2021. Where is it? Jack Ryan was great. He said Hawkeye would have the biggest impact. He holds the Avengers team together. Yes, Terry. He's also in the top line for me thinking, hey, this character might actually bring the Avengers back together. It'd be Clint. Like, of all people, I could see him being that guy. Brian Winslow. Actually, first, Terry says, and if Clint did kick the bucket, he doesn't get his happy ending with his family. Thanks for reminding us of our sadness now, Terry.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it, man.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Brian Winslow asks, would they bring in Ben Reilly? You son of a bitch.
I think, yeah. And you know what, Brian? Like, I feel like Sony at some point is going to be like, I don't know, because there was obviously that rift between Sony and Marvel, and we don't have to dive really into it, but I feel like Sony, speaking of Venom, I think they might want to bring in a Spider-Man into this Carnage, Morbius, Venom verse that isn't MCU proper. If they wanted to say, like, you know what, like, even Feige could be like, oh, we don't want to have the responsibility of babysitting that script. Just do whatever you want to do. Let us have our Tom Holland, Peter Parker, and we'll kind of look at each other and shake hands in the middle when we have to make a proper Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield or bust against Tom Hardy, man. Like, that's what I want. Although it would be fun to have Tom versus Tom in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they'd be Tom, and that's me. Shout out to my nephews. Break time. We'll be right back.
Reels and Heels is a podcast that discusses movies, television, wrestling, and more. With a rotating guest list of friends and filmmakers alike, Reels and Heels salutes the creative arts of all kinds. Join Brian Winslow and Nicole Jobin live every Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Reels and Heels.
Awkward sauce.
Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Dina Marie. I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please
subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe to HWWS
WebTV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million and 10 million and 100 million.
On HWWS
WebTV.
You'll really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
JBauerArt has the graphic design skills you need to develop your next logo and at an affordable price. But he's not just a one-trick pony. Follow JBauerArt on social media to interact during live paintings and see all of his previous artwork, which you can buy exclusively at JBauerArtShop.com. Not only is he an artist, this beautiful son of a blue brings you the Back Talk with Bauer podcast every week with unique guests. And every month, he hosts a special Back Talk with Friends episode that can only be described as chaotic and hilarious. Need a video intro or commercial? JBauerArt has you covered. For all of this and more, follow JBauerArt on social media. That's JBauerArt. Check out JBauerArt.com for a full portfolio and JBauerArtShop.com to buy that special painting for you and your loved ones. A small town coroner has to team up with her ex-fiancé to save her town from a swarm of mutant honeybees. There's action, drama, humor, maybe even a flamethrower or two. There's definitely a ton of bad bee puns and a very unlikely Hawaiian-wearing hero. This classic sci-fi feature cheese fest, written and directed by Elise Marie and starring local talent from the Emerald Coast, invites you to join our journey from conception to reception by visiting Linktr.com/zombies the movie to keep up with all the buzz and donate to GoFundMe. That's Linktr.com/zombies the movie, ZOMBEEZ the movie. And we're back, and because we had that mediocre read of Zombies, it's important to note that Zombies is now filming. Yes! We're finally here. I am ready. Super excited. I start on Friday, and oh, can I not wait to be on set. I don't know why I became a pirate there. It was like Kenobi and Maul together is just a pirate. Don't know why, but whatever. Super excited. Shout out Shannon Williams. He's a fan-fracking-tastic. We gotta stay professional every now and again, Thomas. Fan-fracking-tastic individual as well as actor, talent, former. He's a vet, and he was in Green Lantern.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it was like one of my first roles. I walked in, he's like, you got an interesting look. You ever been in the military? Yeah, stand next to this guy. And he was there. And he's on camera, and he's like, heck yeah, man. So yes. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. You don't want to listen to me talk, because it's time for this beautiful journalist to my right to enlighten us with new information. From across the multiverse, David Thompson works for thedirect.com. You see him here every week, and that's why it's time for everyone's favorite segment.
What the news?
Updated with the new logo, because I'm on effing point today. Let's go. Graphics.
Graphics. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So the Venom, starting off today hot, the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer was unveiled. I don't know if we want to talk about it, Thomas, because I could just break it down, honestly.
We can break it down. I mean, it's not
it's
a lot,
whatever.
And it's copywritten to hell and back, and it'll probably kick us off of YouTube and Twitch. And
yeah,
Facebook.
so here's my thing. Here are my brief thoughts on the Venom Let There Be Carnage. And note, I came fresh off watching the movie.
This is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins. I thought the humor in it worked better in the movie than it was in the trailer. And I'll be honest, it looks like, this is a spoiler for what I'm going to say later, but it looks very, very of the same note as the first one. Like, the humor seems to be the exact same. The look and feel, like it seems like a very proper sequel that's not going to take a lot of like creative changes to it. Make any creative changes to it. It seems like it's still very the same like note about it, where it's like it's dark in some ways. Like it has that like over the top darkness about it with Venom and eating people and all that craziness. And then at the same time, it's about Venom and the inner voice between him and Eddie, and then like Venom wanting to eat all this crap and garbage. And I don't know. I think last night, or not last night, but when I watched the movie before watching this trailer, the humor was hitting a bit more, which I will get into later. But in this trailer, I did not love the trailer. I liked seeing Carnage, but even the Carnage first look to me, it wasn't that clear, I guess. And it was clear. It almost looked like just like a I don't even know, like a maroon Venom. You know?
Let me tell you really quick what this shot is. This shot is looking up, hero shot, at the character Carnage with red backlighting shining towards the camera. So he's a shadow.
Right. Yeah, so he's very dark.
I can't believe I'm saying it. I hate the way they hide their CGI.
Yeah.
I want it to be out and center and front and just like, here it is. Take it as it is. Okay. I understand budget issues. Here's the thing. You're putting in money, a good amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
Just own it. Or Sony, pony up with the money and make the CGI the same level that, Marvel's like, here's our CGI. Okay?
Right.
That's all I'm asking.
And, I will say
before I finish, I do know that is a lot. I am asking a lot. That's like millions, like hundreds of millions of dollars. But, just think about it.
Right.
Weigh the options. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I was going to say my favorite part was when the spider gets squashed. I love that little, there's those little tiny, like little Easter eggs where it's like, it's not as over fist, like the, in Morbius, obviously, Adrian Toomes pops up, Michael Keaton, and it's like, wait, what? We didn't have any of that in this trailer, which would have, lit ablaze the internet. But here, this is actually more interesting to me than the actual trailer in some ways, these are quotes from Andy Serkis, who's directing this film.
Before we get there, I want to talk about because what I have to talk about is no relation to Spider-Man whatsoever. It's about the movie and the trailer. People are like, I don't enjoy the humor in the beginning. It just feels off for the character Venom. I agree. I think it's there for a damn reason, though. I'm looking at this fresh off of Venom, just as you. And as you know, David, the Thories never stop. So, here we are. Here's my question. I got two big questions here. Has Carnage been inside Cassidy this entire time? There's a shot in the trailer where he comes through the tubes, but doesn't need to feed off of him like Vinny. If you put Venom and Eddie together, you get Vinny. Venom did Eddie. It doesn't need to feed off of him because of how similar they are. They are literally just like, yeah, let's kill everybody kind of thing. Because I was wondering that in there. Now, if that is the case, then that means the post-credit scene is that when Carnage or Venom breaks off into Carnage. Now, here's where it gets weird, bro, because I need to just pull a quick pause on this theory to be reminding everyone Carnage is a descendant of Venom or an offspring or
in the comics
separation or, I'm trying to remember. Here's how I'm looking at this trailer, the way Venom is, especially considering how he was at the end. And he was like, all right, fine, whatever. We're going to do your stupid rules.
Fine, I will follow your stupid rules.
Right.
Only because I like you, Eddie.
And now he's just like, he goes in there and he's got this dark side because Venom's like, yeah,
I like you, Eddie. But also, pancreas, livers, so many delicacies, so little time.
So he's got that dark side, and it seems he's still there, but he's asking Eddie, like,
should I just eat her?
And he's like, no, don't eat her. Here's what I think's happening, man. I think perhaps the dark side, the darkest parts of Venom to survive, branched off, literally separated itself, and went to Cassidy, maybe because it sensed what it needed to be. Maybe Venom was like, hey, you get out of here. I don't like you anymore. Or maybe it just happened and nobody knows how and nobody knows why. And that's the whole plot of this movie is Venom figuring out that Carnage is actually him, etc.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to execute that, but I like that idea of there being some sort of like, why Cletus is Carnage, that being a plot point, and not just being like, oh, he's Carnage. Like, I hope they like make it a interesting, like, wait, why is how did he become the symbiote? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I hope they go that direction, with these movies. Like, obviously in the first one, they deal with the symbiotes. That's like the whole plot of it. And so, we'll see. I kind of want to dive into these Spider-Man quotes. So from Andy Serkis, he goes, obviously there are links between Venom and Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe and the Spider-Man story. But in this, we're treating this very much as its own world. The Venom story is his own world. There are nods and little moments like the newspaper Daily Bugle, or the newspaper Daily Bugle, of course. Another quote, but on the whole, he's unaware. They're unaware at this point of other characters like Spider-Man. So that's the way we've chosen to play this particular episode of the movie. But, well, we'll see and wait. We'll see what little things you can pick out of it. So, like I was saying earlier, like the little squashing of the spider, the Daily Bugle, which seems like straight out of the Raimi Spider-Man movies, which people were like pointing to immediately, and I'm like, I honestly think they're just like, they kind of have their own control of it, and they're gonna make references, and I wouldn't get over analytical about the design of them. They're just making, Spider-Man-esque like references just for the sake of doing so. And I wouldn't get caught up with like multiversal stuff, even though this is a world where in the Morbius trailer that came out 18 months ago, Adrian Toomes was at the Vulture was in the end of it. And so we don't like he was very clear for right now. They're unaware. So I think maybe at some point they will connect these things, and based on the release date schedule, I don't think this or Morbius will directly tie into No Way Home. I don't know that, but the fact that they pushed Morbius to 2022 without even thinking twice about it proves to me that whatever that Vulture Easter egg is could be literally just that, like an Easter egg that really serves no purpose, and could be even just another like wink and nod, just being like, oh, there might be out there. They may or may not. I think it's almost what they're doing at Sony with these Venom and Morbius movies. It's just like, hey, they could be out there. We don't know. We don't really know our plans quite yet, but we're going to keep making these movies and keep making money from these movies because Venom made a ton of money. We'll talk about it later. And, they're making movies from Spider-Man's villains. Like, you have to at least do some sort of referencing to him. So, and it's impressive in its own that they can even do that and make so much money. But anyway, I think those would be our general thoughts on the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer. That's a very long time coming, actually.
Very long time coming, and it's coming out a week before my 30th birthday. So don't fucking suck, please. I walked out of Venom. Literally, this was okay. So we'll get to this more, but this weekend was the first time I've watched Venom in its entirety, paying attention since the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I saw it. That gives you an idea of what I feel about this movie.
I don't think I've seen it since theaters. Anyway,
coming back up with the comedy, really quick aspect and the issues with Venom in the beginning. Brian Winslow, friend of the show from Reels and Heels, of course, says Venom is in line with the comics with the humor, especially from the last 5 years. He confirmed Carnage is Venom's son. And he also says the trailer hints at a potential villain, which, interesting. What if Carnage isn't a bad guy? That would be a twist no one sees coming from Sony.
Yeah.
Actually. And Brian Winslow says they're setting up Sinister Six with Venom teaming up with Spider-Man. Oh, That's good. I like that. David, thoughts on that? Sinister Six versus Venom and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what?
That's perfect for Andrew Garfield to come in because they have certain characters already created, certain actors. They can bring them back, right?
Yeah.
You know, they can get Alfred Molina again. They could get Jamie Foxx again. They can pull in any actor from the MCU if they wanted to that they've used because it's their character and they just play a different version of that character.
I mean, let's be honest. We've talked about this. The Spider-Man live action Spider-Man rendition that would work the best in this universe, not only work the best tonally, but would make the most sense logically would be this Venom. This would be Andrew Garfield and the Amazing Spider-Man universe, because even in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, they never made mention to a Venom, even though they did some hand over fist teasing of the Sinister Six. They were working towards a movie about the Sinister Six that was later obviously canceled. Think about Sony and the movies they've canceled over the years. Spider-Man 4.
I try not to.
Spider-Man 4, Amazing Spider-Man 3, Sinister Six. Because Sinister Six was going to be a movie. Like, that was going to be a standalone thing.
That was Drew Goddard, right?
Yeah.
I've
heard that name in a while.
I've heard him talking about it, and he's like, well, I always envisioned them being like just their classic version of that character. And I'm like, yeah, give it to me. Give me that.
Yeah.
That sounds because if somebody says that and they give me something, you know, maybe they get it right, maybe they get it wrong. No matter what, they're going to give me an interpretation that's based in what it was and then do something else.
The Aunt May film, says Brian in the comments. I forgot about the Aunt May film. Remember that report that came out?
No, I don't.
You don't? Like,
No,
okay, so it was still, I think, Brian can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was still in the Amazing Spider-Man days. So like Sally Field was the current Aunt May, and like a report came out from like a reliable website source that said that an Aunt May Sony picture was in the works at Sony Pictures, and it was going to be some sort of spin-off, and there was no more I guess like details on it, but besides that. But yeah, that was a thing once in time, because you know, I will say, like, before, and this might kind of come up again later, before they moved over to the MCU with Spider-Man, you know, Sony was trying to create this extended, expanded, immersive universe like the MCU just out of their handful of Spider-Man characters. I mean, they have, which is probably the best character in Marvel to have all of the various characters and villains that, you know, are attached to Spider-Man, because he has so many and such great villains. But still, it was a mess, and I'm happy they went to the MCU. But yeah, around about. All
right. So I looked this up because I have like, what, an Aunt May film? I do not remember this. Now I vaguely remember this just because I was like, that sounds stupid. And then just moved on from it. It says in this article from Collider, according to Latino Review, which I clicked on, it took me to the link. And LatinoReview.com is no longer alive. So.
Oh, Aunt May killed him.
And it was an exclusive.
Oh.
So,
then it's not that. It wasn't that. Yeah. That was a rumor then, pretty much.
It was a rumor. But it says, and here's what gets me. First off, Sony's got Sinister Six and Venom on the way, and possibly that all-female Spider-Man team-up movie that's rumored too.
What year is this article from?
November 11, 2014.
Wow.
I was still in college, David.
Yeah.
I was still in college when this came out.
I was in like 10th grade.
Oh, you sweet little baby. But it's like, yeah, Aunt May, but not Sally Field's Aunt May.
Right.
Apparently, it would focus on her younger years and be an espionage film, which would then tie into the parents being spies or whatever.
What a meme, honestly.
I ain't gonna lie, like, I'd be about that life.
It sounds like a Disney Plus series or like a show. Like, it sounds like Agent Carter. That kind of like.
It does. Sort of and Agent Carter is great. So more of that, please, Disney. David, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Time. Look at these posters. I only picked 2 because they're the 2 I like the most.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because Taskmaster doesn't have a name above it.
Because we've already seen the actor.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a poster for him. It seems like anyway, guys. Not huge news, but a lot of people will love these posters. Brand new ones for Black Widow. A bunch of character posters for a bunch of different characters. This movie's coming out in just a couple. I mean, it's coming out in less than 2 months at this point, right? Yeah, about 2 months. It's about 2 months away. A little less than 2 months. But yeah, it's coming right around the corner, everyone. And I honestly, the kind of news part I wanted to kind of toss out to Thomas is that there's, I listen to the John Campea show a lot, and he was kind of speculating on his show a few times. That kind of made me think. He was like, are they actually going to stick with the Premiere Access? Is he almost was convinced or making it out to be like it was not set in stone that it was going to be on Premiere Access, even though they already announced it. And this, with this drop, they reconfirmed Premiere Access in theaters and Premiere Access. And that's, I guess a bit of news to me in a way, because they're really, they're reminding us, they're sticking to it. It's a part of the marketing deal. And I think they're all in on this, on this whole, I guess, template for release instead of a normal theatrical release. And we got to, not the next story, but a few stories down, we'll get back into it and see how that could, maybe affect other movies, or maybe, play into some of the other MCU movies coming down the line.
Yeah. Okay, David. All right. Everybody seems to think that OT guy, the guy whose name, the actor's name OT, whose character I don't remember. Everyone's like, oh, he's Taskmaster, and something just tells me no, he's not. And I'm really wondering if Yelena is supposed to continue on. Why on earth is Black Widow? Isn't she the one wearing? Or isn't Black Widow wearing her vest? Isn't she wearing that vest in this movie? Infinity War.
Yeah, Yelena is.
Right? I don't understand why she's wearing that if she's not dead. I don't understand the handoff there. So I'm wondering if she Taskmaster.
Maybe. I hope it's a twist. This movie,
Listen,
I read.
It's definitely a twist. Everyone's like, it's Rachel Weisz. It's that guy. I don't really hear anyone talking about it. Yelena, because we've already seen of her allegedly is she's going to be playing female Ronin or whatever. And I'm wondering if she's going to be playing Ronin literally because she can be Ronin physically.
Oh, right.
Do the same moves. And so that's why she's there as Ronin, haunting Clint for his actions in the 5 years.
It'd be funny. Just
I got him
about
all today, man. It's what happens when you wake up at 3 a.m. and all you do is work.
Yeah. No. I was just thinking the bit it's like the Spider-Man thing. Say they're getting attacked by Taskmaster, and it's like, oh, where'd Yelena go? Where? And then it's afterwards, where were you? Oh, I was distracted. I was running away or whatever. I was just watching Far From Home, and it reminded me of when Mysterio and the water creature thing shows up, and later it hints to Zendaya realizing or putting the puzzle pieces together that he is Spider-Man, and she's like, oh, I didn't see you. Or he was just like, oh yeah, I was running too. Yeah, I was scared. That'd be funny.
Thor flies back to New York City. Yay?
Yeah, so news coming here is some of the cast and crew will head to the Big Apple for 1 week's worth of filming, but details of the additional photography what the additional photography will cover are still hidden. Until this point, it has been entirely shot in Sydney, Australia. So this is the first time the sets moved for this movie. I wonder if I thought, hey, does this mean we're getting, some Earthbound elements in this movie? Because up to this point, I haven't really known. My best guess, my speculation is because Jane Foster's coming back here, because they might be, pulling elements from the Mighty Thor comics. Could this be about, could they just be shooting some photography of her backstory, like her beginning of her at the beginning of this movie, because she's not just going to pop up in space. I don't think. Watch it. That's how it works. But I think there will be a backstory to her. Maybe she has cancer. Maybe there's something with the blip that affected her negatively. Who knows what they're going to tell? But we know she's going to wield Mjolnir. We know she's going to have a similar element of the story. And I think that going to New York and filming there for whatever reason could, incite that maybe we get some, because it seems like in Sydney, like I guess I should a little background. In Sydney, the set photos, it's been a lot of sound stages and big, like outdoor things where it seems like most of what they're filming has been in space, because most of this movie I think is going to be in space with gore and everything. So my best guess is that this could maybe mean maybe this is filming some of the stuff for Natalie Portman's Jane Foster, but this is really all speculation. What did you think of this?
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, yay. Okay, so you were talking, and here's what really kind of popped in my ears. I vividly remember at some point the number 10% being attached to the words Earthbound at some point in an interview from Taika. And that was at the time in the script. So them filming a week in New York makes me think that they need something on location, because you can't replicate New York City. Like, you really can't, unless you're in like a specific, trying to do like a Burroughs vibe kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in certain areas, like it's like, oh, we just put this over here because it looks similar. You can match small little things, but overall, you're on the streets, can't do that. So that's what I think's happening here. Maybe there's just like one sequence of fighting on Earth or whatever.
One thing.
Maybe it's Mjolnir coming on, like falling on Earth to Jane Foster and coming to her straight from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yes, another theory.
I was going to say, there is a Doctor Strange. He was in Ragnarok. Maybe this is a Doctor Strange thing. But
my other thing,
Benedict Cumberbatch would be in a lot of different movies at this point if that was the case. But I'd love to see that.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, maybe it's that. But, I mean, I feel like we would have...
It comes out after Multiverse of Madness, by the way, this movie.
Yeah, and they just wrapped Multiverse of Madness, but they were filming that in the UK, right?
Yes. Correct. Yeah, I don't know. This could be anything, really.
If they're doing that, there's a good chance they already got Doctor Strange's stuff, or they'll just shoot him on a green screen.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with them moving to New York, you can't ever really... It has to be like an outdoor thing, because if it's not, they can just film it wherever. They could do it in Atlanta, like they can just make a set. So I think there has to be something New York about it. I guess. I don't know for sure.
The house for the Sanctorum, though, is a location. So that, and I'm pretty sure that's actually somewhere in or about New York.
That's what I'm thinking. With Doctor Strange, that would make maybe the most logical sense, where they would we need to go to New York City.
Yeah.
So,
but what I'm saying is, like, they might be going to that house for the interior of that house. The interior of the Sanctorum is actually somewhere in or around the New York area. So, I mean, really, they could be going to like Long Island. People are like, they're going to New York City, because then people are like, oh, they'll go to New York today.
So let's move on to some more filming news. Miss Marvel has wrapped filming, and this comes out both Hawkeye and Miss Marvel. The only thing we know yet about these two with release dates is it'll come out late 2021, both of them. That's what it says. So you got to assume that, one will follow the other. And no, I guess this indicates, because we haven't gotten the word yet, that Hawkeye has finished filming, but this seems to maybe indicate that Miss Marvel will come before.
No, didn't it just stop filming?
What's wrong?
So didn't it just stop filming?
Hawkeye?
Yeah. Didn't Jeremy Renner post that picture that he posted and was like, yeah, this is a great wrap?
Oh, maybe you're right. I could have messed up there. But even though he just posted something else about like shooting some more, but it could have been a different movie. I don't know.
True. I don't know.
So yeah, you're right. I honestly, I don't know which one they're going to come out with first. And it's kind of odd to me that they're both currently just late 2021. Like, it's super up in the air. But so with the news with what the news literally with Miss Marvel is it was filming in Atlanta for most of it, and then it just filmed in Thailand. And now the additional photography in Thailand is completed, and that wrapped the film or the show. And it did say which episodes apparently, like there are set. I'll just say I knew what episodes, but I'll just say that there were set episodes for the Thailand shoot. They said that there was like a couple episodes that will take place in Thailand, or they shot those episodes there, not necessarily taking place there. But we still aren't sure yet on how long these shows will be. Obviously, WandaVision 9 episodes, Falcon the Winter Soldier 6, Loki's going to be 6. My guess, these seem to be heading the direction of 6 each as well. I could be wrong, but just from what I've heard, yeah, so that's pretty much it with the Miss Marvel filming. I mean, pretty much all that happened was that it wrapped, and now it's seemingly, if not entirely, both Miss Marvel and Hawkeye have finished, and they're what's coming up next after Loki. There is What If, but that's obviously an animated show. So we'll see with that one. But later in the year, Miss Marvel and Hawkeye is coming, and it seems like both shows have pretty much wrapped filming.
That's exciting. Here's what I'm very excited for, David. That the fact that What If is probably going to be going on after Loki.
Yeah.
Now, Bad Batch, really quick, since we're here, this tangent, and I'm on this tangent, and we're live, and there's only so much that can be done. Bad Batch, I believe, is going 16 weeks.
Wow, that's long.
Excuse me, 16 episodes.
Wow.
We had 2. This will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it'll end August 13th.
Right.
I'm wondering if...
That's crazy. It's going to span that long.
Right. So Loki starts on the 9th of June. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll end July 14th. I'm wondering if that's where they start What If on Wednesdays. So then it becomes What If Wednesdays. Or as I like to call it, What If Loki's Day. And, to stay on brand. I'm wondering if that's when we'll actually get What If. And then we get, well, excuse me, you don't watch Bad Batch, so I will get Marvel animation and Star Wars animation that are both important to, well, me.
Yeah.
So here's something that's also important to us. Really quick, David, I forgot to ask this question. Stock rising or falling on Miss Marvel?
For me?
Rising, falling, or neutral? Yeah, man. I'm stealing shit from the direct, you know.
Oh, I like that. I would say rising because solely because I guess 2 bits. I like the suit that leaked, and I also, I think the fact that she's going to be such a big player in Captain Marvel makes me care more about her now, or like what that character is going to be, because she's going to have a pivotal role in a big major motion picture where it's like, this isn't going to be some tiny character that's going to get, people are going to be like, oh, I don't want to watch her on Disney Plus. Like, if you want to go see every Marvel movie, she's going to be one of them up there pretty much. So yeah, I would say rising.
Okay. I like that. I like that answer too. Everybody has different reasons for why they're excited. As soon as I learned about her from the game, I was like, yeah, man, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm all in.
So this next story, if you want to move on, I wrote this article actually this morning, and it's really interesting.
Communism versus Marvel is our topic, ladies and gentlemen. The graphic is repurposed from the direct.com as always. Like I said, I'm stealing shit from the direct. Shout out Captain Matt Rimke, and I forget Liam's new nickname. Oh yes, the King of Hills to Die On, Liam Crowley, at the direct pod. I think they will enjoy this title. Communism versus Marvel. Are Shang-Chi / Eternals fucked?
So I wrote this article on the direct.com, and basically it's coming with this report from I believe it was the Hollywood Reporter, if I'm not wrong. Let me open it up actually so I don't get my own shit wrong. Basically saying it was from Variety, sorry, not the Hollywood Reporter. This is an awkward situation. So CCTV 6 China Movie Channel, they did not include Shang-Chi and Eternals on their. They came out with this list basically of upcoming Marvel movies coming to theaters, and they did not include those two. And the reason being, there was already critics of Shang-Chi, and some of it has to do with Fu Manchu, and basically I think China's not too interested in that character. And I remember even initially, it didn't have to do with this report, but I read something along the lines of, I guess people in China just want to go to the movies and watch, if it's a Marvel movie, just watch people that don't look like them fighting and doing all this stuff. And one thing, though, that they mentioned is that Fu Manchu, which is the original villain and father of Shang-Chi from the comics, kind of embodies the... Shang-Chi, yeah, sorry. Kind of embodies or represents like the yellow pearl stereotype that, Chinese people could find offensive, right? Like that basically those old Shang-Chi, comic books weren't quite as, I don't know, PC, I guess I would say. And maybe, they were, I don't think they were really representative of any kind of their culture or anything like that. I think there was a bit of like caricature work happening.
Written by white people.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I feel bad. It's Simu Liu, I think, is the Shang-Chi's lead actor. I've read it 100 times. I haven't said it very much, but he even said on a video a couple weeks ago when the trailer came out. He was speaking directly to the Chinese audience, kind of like talking to them, and kind of hoping, that they'll support and anything. But then more interesting thing is Eternals, right? So you would think, okay, you can almost wrap your head more around Shang-Chi, like that. I guess you could. Yeah, I know I'm terrible. I go back and forth. It's like I don't even know what words he's kind of go back and forth on.
Let me keep you in the world really fast.
Let's get it
for remembering things. Shang-Chi. My head hurts, but I won't forget because I literally beat it into my scalp.
Yeah, I remember when Feige first said it on the stage at Disney Investor Day. I'm like, oh shit! Like I've been saying it wrong all along, but now it kind of fluctuates. But yeah, so with Eternal, so Chloe Zhao, the director, who just won Best Director at the Academy Awards, everyone's super hyped about Eternals now, especially because of that award, and just thinking that there's been a lot of buzz around the movie, kind of within the back of Marvel and Disney, thinking like, oh my gosh, like what do we have on our hands here? To me, I want to see a trailer, but it was also removed because Zhao has been very critical of China in recent comments, and actually, as a matter of fact, Thomas, I don't know if you saw the article, but they actually blacked out the news when she won the Academy Award. So like they couldn't even like, you know what I mean? Like they made it so people couldn't even see it or celebrate. And here's the thing.
Petty.
Yeah, I mean she's been very critical. Like she's called it a place where there are lies everywhere, amongst a lot of other quotes. So basically, I spun this the only way I know how and talked about the box office, because this is, I love the box office. I like reading about the box office. I love kind of studying it a little bit, and I can't wait for it to be properly back. But right now, the Chinese box office is the most vibrant and largest in the world. In 2020, you can count the pandemic for it, but it passed to the U.S. as the largest box office in the world. Who knows what will happen in 2021, but in 2020 it did at least. And right now, so let's take Godzilla vs. Kong as an example, which is like the biggest movie that's come out this year. Let's say. Yeah, it's made double the amount in China as it has in the United States, that movie. So it'll be like it's made I think $187 million in China, and then like 93 million in the United States. Obviously, HBO Max is a factor, and HBO Max is only available in certain countries, including the United States, and I don't think China. But here's the thing, like, China is a huge market, especially coming out of this pandemic, where the box office is as flimsy and unpredictable and just murky waters as it's been in years. And even for an MCU movie, right? Like, they pump a bunch of money into this, and I want your thoughts on all of this, Thomas, but one question is, could we see either of these movies go to Disney Plus? Will that even matter? Because it's like, China's not going to let the movie in, period. So what would Disney Plus edition even do in that sense? If China's basically, if they're censoring the movie from letting their citizens watch it, then almost I question, what does Disney Plus, what would a Premiere Access even do to help them, except for get people out of the theater and sit at home and watch it? So, we're going to get some big tests coming up here when it comes to Fast 9, when it comes to Black Widow. Fast 9's June 25th. Black Widow is soon after, July 9th. And we're going to see how the box office is doing. And it's going to be very important to look at non-Chinese numbers when it comes to those movies, when it comes like at the box office, because it could give us an idea of, and Disney an idea of, how well these could perform. And I think, honestly, especially with Eternals, I guess, if the audience in China doesn't want to see Shang-Chi, I get it. But Eternals, like, I think that movie could be really good. And I think it's a shame, because I'm sure a lot of people there, maybe not, I don't know, but a lot of people there would maybe want to actually see that movie. Because it is, these grand heroes going on this long span of time. But anyway, Thomas, I go on. I wrote the article, so I had a lot to say. But what are your thoughts on all this? It's kind of crazy. I was especially surprised about the Eternals part.
You know what's weird? I mean, I kind of understand the Shang-Chi a little bit.
I do too. It's more understandable for sure. It's definitely more understandable, because even a part of it is that I think they were almost so like dismissive, like didn't even give it, don't even know if they're like not doing those different characters and stuff. They're just like, oh, that's the movie. No, like, I'm not interested. So
you really teed me up there, because the Chloe Zhao part of it all, I really don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of get it. I really don't get the Shang-Chi part. I said that wrong. I really don't get the Shang-Chi part. I do get the Chloe Zhao part, only because it's all political and,
right,
she's against us kind of vibes. But I don't get the Shang-Chi part, is what I meant to say.
Oh, you don't?
No, because you're like, yeah, I get it. They're just like, no, I'm not into this. And I'm like, but like, I just don't understand why.
Well, I think so.
Personally, I'm like, but like, okay, the Fu Manchu part, I do get. Okay, you understand, but okay, do you not care? You just, I don't know. I
think they're not doing well from all signs. I don't think, there's a thing that I did see before where it's like, allegedly, this isn't what I know personally. People in China, when they go to see a movie that's a superhero movie, they want to go, like Marvel movie, they want to go see people that don't look like them, quote unquote, beating up people and doing heroic things. What if that's true or not? I don't know. That's probably a huge generalization too, because it is literally a generalization. But
that's like 1 billion people.
Yeah, exactly, or more, or I don't even know. But I think with this movie, from the report and indications, it seems like they're just not even giving this a chance. It's like they saw the character, they know of the character's past, and aren't even like doing their homework, or they're not considering it. You know what I mean? It's like if you're little and you're asking your mom or your dad to go somewhere, and let's say like they know the parents or they know the kid did something wrong in the past, and they just don't even give you a chance. Thomas is dying off camera now. But yeah, I mean, I just think that the Chinese, and what's interesting about all this, it was fun reading about it because it's so different than other open market countries, is that, all pieces of media have to filter through the government there. And I think even in the past, for sure in the past, it's caused, they've had to change movies. Like they've revised them in some ways, in some places. And it's just a whole different environment there. It's a whole different system. But hey, it is what it is. And I'm honestly most interested in seeing how this could develop. And this isn't confirming that they're not going to be in those markets. This is just a report coming out that they did not list the movies. So it's no confirmation they won't release there, but it is looking that way. And look out for the box offices, because these two movies that are brand new, they have a lot going against them right now. Brand spanking new in 2021, which is still, this is not the best time to release a movie, even though we're kind of coming out of this pandemic, at least it feels like.
Panorama.
And the fact that now they could be removed from the biggest box office market in the world individually, it is right now. And that's just, it's a recipe for disaster.
Even before it still was.
Yeah, it was. It's very, very. It's the biggest international market to us, by a wide margin. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
What a bummer, dude.
It is a bummer.
Like here's my genuine thoughts. Like genuine. I don't know if I actually gave thoughts. I don't remember. I almost died choking on like gum. I'm not gonna lie. So I want these movies to financially succeed because I want more. I really should have had Kylo queued up for just more. It'd be like that. So the fact that they're not going to be in the largest market scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. No, I mean, their numbers just aren't going to be as good comparably. Like if they're not in China, they're going to just make significantly less than any other blockbuster during the year. And it's point blank. Like, it's just that simple. Unless, okay, that could be wrong, because unless like things really start opening up across the world, where in some, international, it's a lot of different places that movies could open up. And in some countries, they're not even close to that right now. Or it's not even like us, where we're kind of coming out of it. That's not how it is all over the world. Huh?
We're dabbling.
Yeah, and I just think, losing China will be very, very bad for these movies when it comes to the box office. But we'll see. I mean, only time will tell. And as time goes on, it should get better, at least here in the United States, which could boost them. And it depends on if they're hits or not, too. Like, say both of these movies become huge hits here in the States, they'll do just fine. And they have a great backbone with the MCU. And if they just make great movies, they'll make sequels. Like, it would have to be a terrible movie and terribly flop for there to be any kind of jeopardy with a sequel for either of these franchises. But it is scary that these are their first, iterations in the MCU, and they're going to be opening up in a pandemic still and without the Chinese box office. I mean, it's kind of a recipe for a lackluster box office performance.
Yes. I am commenting now. I probably should have just said it at that point. Here's my thing, man. David, you son of a bitch, you already got our logo up?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Damn, bro, I just noticed that. Okay. That's why my phone was tripping out. There it is. Yeah, it was tripping. It was like not loading our video.
Yeah, I've been doing work on my phone. At least I was earlier.
Yeah, Brian Winslow in the comments said that there was a great comment on the Variety Facebook for this. That was about 15 minutes ago. I was dying around that time, I believe. So I wasn't able to see that in the comments. Brian, when you come back and give us whatever it is you were talking about, I am going to throw it in. But it's time for an ad break. Before we dive into Venom, which I don't have much. I'm going to give you the plot of Venom, and I'm going to tell you whether
it will be the least dove into movie we've ever done in one of these segments. But we'll talk about it. We'll chat about it, guys. We'll chat about it.
Probably. You know what we're not going to talk about? That terrible fucking song.
What song?
Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for making me have to talk about it, David. You son of a bitch.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Hello, I'm Thor, son of Dale, here to tell you about the Life of Thor Productions official shop. The only place where you can get your official merchandise for the LightsThunderAction podcast and Life of Thor's Thor Watches series. Whether you want t-shirts, tanks, hoodies, mugs, and masks, Life of Thor Productions official shop has you covered. If you happen to recognize there's an item that you would like to buy that is not in the official shop, head over to the LightsThunderAction podcast or Life of Thor and request that item, because if you want it, we'll sell it. Just head to lotproductions.threadless.com/collections to get the item that calls out to you via the Force. Again, that is lotproductions.threadless.com/collections. Thank you, and have a Thortastic day.
I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here. Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
I'm Brevard.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
please
Subscribe.
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 Please subscribe to HWWS
WebTV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
And videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
So we can cross that 20,000 mark
and get us to 100,000 subscribers.
to 1 million and 10 million and 100 million.
On HWWS.
WebTV.
You really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
Inked Marketing provides solutions, marketing and design, Kickstarters, branding, audience building, and comic shop platform. Why do some of the greats in the comic book industry turn to Inked when they want a successful Kickstarter campaign? Because of our devotion to their success by offering marketing solutions that exceeded their expectations and Kickstarter funding goal. Inked Marketing will help you develop your market placement. Visit inked.marketing. Again, that is inked.marketing. And we're back! What's up? David, sound the breaking news klaxon.
Breaking
news. No, my son. Breaking news. Breaking news. I don't even know if this will interest you in any way. I was looking for the comment that Brian was talking about, and 15 minutes ago, the Disney Plus Proud Family revival will star Billy Porter, Zachary Quinto, and E.J. Johnson. And I'm all the way here for it. I don't know if you understand how much I love that show growing up.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it on ABC probably like years after it was originally aired. I don't know, because I know that Disney shows slowly filtered to ABC eventually in the mornings, and now there's no Saturday mornings anymore. It's stupid.
Right.
So yeah, Proud Family. Didn't know that was a thing coming back, but I am here for it. And the animation style looks totally different, and I'm even here for that.
Yeah.
David, Are you ready, man? Let's do this.
Let's do this.
I'm gonna go first.
Sure, because mine's so long and in depth.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, David, I'm gonna point to you, and then you just go. All right, I just know that mine's pretty short and sweet today.
Sure.
Here is the fucking plot of Venom. Eddie's a nice guy. No, he's a dick. I didn't mean to do Venom there, but just all of a sudden he ruins his life for no fucking reason.
Oh my gosh, Thomas.
Like it. What?
Imagine at the opening of the next movie, it's just Venom recapping the first movie.
Oh, well, because
we should just do that. We should just.
I'm doing that now. I love a good cold read.
Venom plot. And he's a nice guy. No, he's a dick. Interesting and serviceable sci-fi. Mumbo jumbo. Reviews symbiote. Me. Bonding issues. You. Eddie gets a Venom symbiote and the plot begins. Because I'm here, bitch. Fun and forth. Oh, fun. Back and forth. And Venom. Me. Again. I'm awesome. The descent of Eddie in the eyes of other characters is brilliant. You're welcome. Lady Venom is amazing.
Still my favorite part. That's
no,
just, honest to God, I love it so much.
The movie is completely off the rails at that point. It's like suddenly.
David, shut the fuck up. It's from the comics. You son of a cat hound. Lady Venom is amazing. Still my favorite part. Solid battle at the end, save the earth, and we murder Riot, and also that asshole who is being rude to the lady.
Yeah.
David.
I remember you did the Venom impression, I think back in the Clemente days, so that came out, and I remember thinking it's really impressive. Like, it's one of your best impersonations, and it's such an odd one to be really good at, but I'm always really impressed. You really started really well too. I feel like it's hard to keep up, but it is one of your, especially because it's like it literally is. They like mess with it, like they put effects on it, and you nail like what the effects are. So Carlton Drake, what an asshole villain in this stupid movie.
That's his name. I forgot.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Riz Ahmed is the actor. I like him a lot. I really like that actor, actually. And he's actually pretty good in the role. The casting in this movie, for what it is, it's good. Yeah. Like Michelle Adams, she's great in it. Even the one guy, what's his name? Dan?
That's her name?
Who?
The one that looks like Anya Taylor-Joy in some scenes.
Michelle Adams? Or Michelle Williams. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anne in the movie. Yeah, Michelle Williams.
Yeah. Okay.
She's in, what else is she in? She's someone I just saw, I think. But anyway, yeah, I mean, and Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock is good. Here's my thing. You just went through yours. Here are my notes. This movie sucks in an endearing way. The end. And I think that's exactly how I'd put this movie. It even like sits that way, like in most critics, where it's like teeters around 50-ish%, and like. And honestly, okay, so here's some things I like about the movie. I actually think the comedy with Venom works well a lot of the times. Like, it was the most enjoyable part to me. It's so like, it's a campy movie. It's funny. It actually feels out of time in a lot of ways, but I think they almost just lean into that. They decided, I feel like writing it or making it during the process, they're like, all right, this can be what it is. And a lot of people will like it because a lot of people like this movie, actually. More than you'd think. And the box office proved it, right? I mean, it made over $800 million at the box office. So, I mean, if you're Sony, boom, immediate green light without even a question. Obviously, greenlit Morbius, all this. I actually think the CGI is good. I like the way Venom looks. I think this Carnage first look is the first, like, where I'm like, what is going on? But honestly, like, when even him, like when he forms into Venom and he grows and stuff, like it looks the worst actually when the symbiote is just by itself. That's when it looks the worst. But when it's actually formed around him, he looks like kind of slimy like, but he looks like how I would imagine it more like. And he looks, I think, a lot better and more comic accurate than the one we got in Spider-Man 3, where in Spider-Man 3 is a bit more like Spider-Man like and like size and everything and shape. And I mean, I think the plot is kind of ridiculous. Like I think I texted Thomas, like, I'm like, oh, right, this stupid movie where like it just jumps like 6 months and it's like, oh yeah, now he's down. And it's super like, there's so many cookie cutter things about it where like, if this was an MCU movie, oh my gosh, you wouldn't hear the end of it. Because it's Venom and people kind of like have certain expectations and people like it, you know? I mean, I'm not one of those people. I think it's not a great movie, honestly. I really don't think it's that good, but I do. And here's the thing though, I think it kind of knew it too because it's short. It's listed as an hour and 52 minutes. It's shorter than that. That's like with the credits, and the credits are long. It's like an hour and a half pretty much. And you get in there, you get out of there. It's fine. It's rushed, but it's fine though. You didn't want more exposition with Tom Hardy. Trust me. Just get it a symbiote, get it going, and like I think, you know, let's say the MCU is handling a solo Venom movie. I think it would have gone a lot differently. But I think for what this is, they found their kind of niche of tone. You know, this kind of cross between like a dark monster and humor. And just leaned into that and didn't focus as much on like a super compelling story. And honestly, it works good enough when it's like when Venom, it's rushed as hell, but when Venom and Eddie and Venom's like, oh, I want to stay now. No, you're like, we're the same. And it's like, you know what? This works, man. This works good enough for me. Like I'm enjoying it. Like you said in your in your comments, like when you went over the whole plot, like I think, you know, they defeat Riot. I enjoy that final fight scene. It's pretty good. I like seeing their abilities. Like the symbiote stuff is cool. My biggest, I mean, not my biggest, but I think in general, even if this movie was like amazing, I'd still be like, where's Spider-Man? Because I think there is something to be said where this is a Spider-Man villain, just Venom on his own. He's this anti-hero now, which is pretty good. You know, they do a pretty good job of it, but I do miss like that Spider-Man element of it, but you wouldn't get a movie like this where it's so centered on the character if Spider-Man was there, because he still would be, you know, a villain overall. Where in here, he's the hero of the story, which is definitely interesting. I mean, it'll be cool to see as time goes on when we get Morbius and maybe some other things, like seeing a villain as the hero of their own story. It honestly, I mean, this isn't like great cinema or anything like that, but it does make me wonder. I'd like to see more movies, maybe not from Sony necessarily, but even in the MCU, where it's like a story from the villain's perspective where they are a little gray, you know, or even maybe at the beginning where it's like an origin and they are an anti-hero or they are the hero at the beginning, but maybe it becomes venomous, let's say. I would like to see, honestly, I would like to see this Venom this specific Venom, I wouldn't mind it, take on a Spider-Man. I don't know if I want to see him take on Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but a Spider-Man I think would be cool. I'm kind of upset with that idea in mind that all of a sudden we're getting Carnage and they're just kind of moving forward with this universe. And it makes sense they're doing Carnage because that's just money, right? You know, that's just great marketing. Hey, Carnage, oh, because there's a lot of Venom fans. Like it's some people. It's
Carnage. Have you ever seen American Dad?
Hardly, no.
Oh fuck. Well,
Sorry.
That's what the Antichrist sounds like. So that's Carnage to me. We are Carnage.
You have anything else, Thomas, or anything to add on what I was saying?
Yeah. So positives. Again, Lady Venom. Didn't know that was a thing in the comics at all. Like a Venom, the symbiote being on a female specifically. I knew they'd been like female, but like I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a nice little nod to the comics. After I looked it up,
yeah,
I love that. I really love they really make you love Eddie, and then it's just like, yeah, but he's a dick. And again, I get it.
And he's just kind of a goof. I do not believe he had the successful career.
That's what I'm confused about. He's got this successful career. He's like, oh yeah, so doing this, like kind of thing.
It's like a schmuck.
No, it's not a schmuck thing. He's just like trying to. I don't know. I like him until he acts like a dick, and then I'm like, okay, but You could have not ruined your relationship, thrown your
Yeah,
under
he's
the
an
bus.
idiot.
Like, I just confused big time, but whatever.
No, I agree.
It makes sense that, need a dark side so Venom attaches and like, oh, I like him.
Right.
He's got a dark side, but not too dark.
But he's like Tom Hardy isn't like our Eddie Brock. He isn't like a scary person. He's the hero. Like, and you feel bad for him, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this guy's like kind of a goofball because like, why would he just threw his career away just to ask this guy one question, and they told him, they warned him, right? It's like, how do you think I was gonna go?
He's like, I can't do that. I mean,
he just jumped. Like,
good. You literally can. It's called choosing.
Even as someone who studied journalism and stuff, like if you want to get something out of someone, I don't know, tactic, warm them up a bit, test the waters. He basically just jumps into it, right? And backhand, like compliments him with, like, he kind of like smacks him in the face with it, like almost like he jabs him while asking him. And that's not the way to do it unless you're looking to like make a YouTube video and you're one of those people, but like not to actually get a good scoop and actually learn anything. It's just, I think it's just kind of ridiculous. And they had to drive it forward, and they also had to make the Carlton character, they needed to make him look very evil and Hardy less so. And it's just, it's just not. It's not very clever. This movie is not clever, is what I would say. Where
it would have made it a lot better of a movie, and I'm about to make this movie better by writing a scene really fast. If those two characters did a genuine, honest-to-God interview, asking genuine questions, giving actual character, like an interview is brilliant exposition opportunity in a film,
right?
And they're like, yes, words. Yes, well, my foundation, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, he's kind of smarmy. What? Okay, get it. Why are you killing people? What the fuck is that, man?
Exactly.
Where did you come from?
Exactly.
Why are you doing this? Listen, I understand.
That's exactly how it goes. It's exactly how it goes. Oh, you've been killing people for years now? Like what? And he's just like, no, shut it down. Your career's over. Your life's over. And it is. And then it ends.
You know what, man? You know what's bothering me about Superman and Lois? That Lois does that in the show.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make sense. Because again, it does make sense in the sense that it's TV and they are a little bit. But like adding 10 minutes to this movie, maximum.
Right.
A little bit of exposition on both characters. Then you can understand motivations of both with subtext.
I would say
a writer.
I would
looking for subtext here.
Yeah. No, trust me.
You learn how evil Drake is by the ooze of his response, the vulture of Michael Keaton, like a Michael Keaton.
Yeah. No, he's just pure bad. He's just pure bad. There's no what's the word? Like redeeming qualities about him at all. He's just a bad guy running this bad, corrupt corporation, and it's very cookie cutter
in a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
It's an okay movie.
Here's my thoughts. I know I'm like shitting on it because it's not the MCU, so I'm detached. And I went in originally with expectations of the MCU. Watching it in a second time, it's so much fun. It is so much fun, despite it's a literal turn your brain off movie. When I don't want to turn my brain off with Venom who's a complex ass character. Now, here's what I'm excited for about. And this is where I was getting. We're going to wrap it all up here about Carnage. I think they're going to be able to dive deeper into the dark psychology. Venom is really Eddie's movie. It's about Eddie. And then it's like, okay, he actually, literally, Eddie just being Eddie, which I suppose is him doing his stupid shit in the beginning, is what makes Venom like Earth. And it's like, let's save Earth because I like Eddie. So that's phenomenal. So we've learned enough about why Venom wants Eddie, right? By learning about Eddie. But now we have to learn more about Venom so that Eddie really does want Venom.
I would
not just I have the power kind of thing. You know,
I would love if they do like a Venom symbiote like backstory, because we get that, we get the inklings of it, or like kind of the references of it in this movie. Really?
No. You know why? Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong because I have not read these comics specifically. I almost said pacifically. When it comes to Gore, he has this all blade thing. He's like, again, he's the God Butcher. He is a part of the origin of the symbiotes.
Really?
That blade is. Yeah, now, thanks to Donnie Cates, that brilliant motherfucker. No, seriously, there was the all blade, and what Gore used, Malekith ended up using in War of the Realms. I read that. Brilliant. And it turns out that Venom gets a hold of it at a certain point, and you find out that he's attached to it, and he's supposed to be the King in Black, which is going on in the comics now. I believe he's like the foretold King in Black. I could be wrong. All I know is that the King in Black came in and murdered a bunch of people in the opening issue, and it was brutal. But Donnie Cates has been changing a lot of stuff, so that's why I don't want that to happen. Because if they do that,
I mean, they can do whatever they want.
Listen, I would love Tom Hardy as a character in the MCU. And I think that he's got this tone for a reason, so that if put in the MCU, it still works.
Oh, I guess. It'd be weird.
Yeah, but he's weird, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if that character fits in the MCU right now.
Well, here's the other thing. I really hope we're going to get a little bit of, like, Eddie Brock confidence.
Right.
Because he's
I think we will.
Confidence. Like, we've seen it at times. We just saw him at like a tortured moment. So like, I don't know, man. I'm
not sweating this next movie. I'm just going to go in, like you said, turn my brain off, watch the movie. And those are my expectations, at least. Especially based on the trailer, like it seems very similar to the original. And that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's about it for me, honestly, on that. Venom, the Sony Venom verse isn't exactly my cup of tea, but if it's yours, hey, this is a very exciting time. I'm excited to see it. I'll probably try to see it opening night. I mean, I want to see it. I think, like Thomas said, I think it's a fun movie. It's fun. And I think if that's your expectation, then you'll have fun with it. At least I did. So
give me more Woody Harrelson, Tom Hardy scenes.
Yeah, see Woody Harrelson's Carnage. It's going to work. It's going to work fine.
And here's the thing that I'm really excited for. I think that now Eddie's going to be the straight man.
Right.
Like, he seems like Eddie's the straight man to Venom's like, la, 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 la. And then Eddie's going to be the straight man to the lunacy of Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Kevin B. Blood from the Maine Event is in the house. And he says, hi to Thomas and David. So that's me. I'm Thomas. That's
hi.
David. Hello. I'm sorry for yelling in everyone's ears. The cop in the trailer for the second film becomes an even stronger, scarier villain than Carnage. Toxin is hinted at. And and this is coming from Brian Wenzelov. I almost messed that up. Reels and Heels. I almost do an H in Reels when I didn't need to. David, we're off of Venom. Venom is dead. Sorry, Venom. He wants to hear your thoughts about the Cinemark deal with the 5 studios.
I am actually not aware of what he's talking about, but
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I didn't realize that was a
language.
I know.
Are you gonna pull it up?
Liar!
I am. Sorry to everyone. You can cut that out in the audio version. Cinemark deal.
Wait, maybe with 5 studios though? With the 5 studios?
Language. Language.
Did you
5
find
days
it?
ago. Yes, I did. Deadline.com. Okay, when you're done doing the audio editing, you can just like come in here.
Thank you.
There it is. Cinemark has theatrical deals with 5 major studios. Some go months, some years. CEO says Netflix Army of the Dead Pact, first of many for chain. Oh no, it took away my. Well, okay. Well, there was a brief recap on it there. It's going. Hey, we are. Big movie chain Cinemark announced Friday it's now reached agreements to theatrically showcase films from all 5 major studio partners across its U.S. theaters, although it didn't provide terms or many details. The announcement, I skipped a line, it's whatever, builds upon the exhibitor's November agreement with Universal and includes deals with Warner Brothers, Walt Disney, Paramount, and Sony. It also follows news that Cinemark will play Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead on May 14 for 1 week ahead of its streaming release on Netflix. I wish I had one of those near me. On the studio agreement, Universal was first, of course. The last 60 days, the chain is completed. Blah 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 blah.
So what's the deal though? I'm confused of like what the deal. What are they agreeing to?
Working on that.
Okay, because
in the
like
course of the last 60 days, the chain has completed deals with the other 4 unique attributes specific to this individual studio that mutually benefits both parties. The terms of the deal are confidential. The big picture is I wouldn't look for any significant change relative to splits. Where is it at?
is it some sort of financial?
It sounds to me
Shorter windows in theaters, or
in our ongoing efforts to maximize attendance and box office during the pandemic and beyond, our goal is to provide the widest range of content with terms that are in the best long-term interests of Cinemark, our studio partners, and moviegoers. We are pleased with these recent developments and are confident we are taking positive steps toward reigniting theatrical exhibition and evolving the industry for a post-pandemic landscape. Now,
okay,
it's about the blockbusters and the movies and the it'll hit me in a second.
It seems like it's basically they've agreed to terms to have these movies play in theaters from these certain studios, like from Cinemark.
Yes, it's what I'm honestly getting out of this, to me at least, is that it's gonna be.
Brian saying in the comments, if the film opens at 50 million opening weekend, it can be released 31 days later.
I'm so glad that he has information because this article has none of that.
That bit's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So 50 million on the opening weekend, and it can be released 31 days later.
Like streaming, I assume, because there is something with Paramount movies where it's like they've shrunken. Because I know the Krasinskis, I guess you could say, Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, they have a dispute going on right now when it comes to A Quiet Place, because they had a contract deal where their part of their salary was going to be paid in the box office, but Paramount, I believe it's Paramount, changed their format of how they're going to release these movies, and it's only a 45-day window before I believe it goes on Paramount Plus, because I think it's for that. It's for whenever the next Mission Impossible comes out. It's like and also I think it's for James Bond, where like it shrank the window. Yeah. Okay. Voodoo and okay, yeah. So Brian, yeah. So this is basically, I mean, in all honesty, my thoughts on it would be that it's smart for Cinemark to make deals with the studios, be open about it, try to negotiate, try to get in with the studios, be on their good side, because at this point, you don't want more Warner Brothers drama and issues where they just come out of nowhere and say, boom, all of it's coming on streaming. You know, I'm a fan of the cinema more than a lot of other people. I want them to stay alive. Quite frankly, like a shorter release date in theaters, whereas I guess maybe I should want it to be longer because that could mean more box office and incentivize people to go out to a theater instead of wait for it 45 days. You know, I think it's selfishly, it sounds great to go see a movie maybe even once or twice, and then 45 days later, all of a sudden I could purchase it or watch it on Paramount Plus or whatever.
Here.
So yeah, I mean, I think from Cinemark's point of view, I think it's smart to be proactive. We've seen a few other deals happen. I know with like AMC and Universal and things of that nature, where it is about, confirming these windows in theaters and then working from there. Because I think, the box offices are normally made within the first few weeks, especially that first opening weekend. That's why I think Brian would say like part of the deal would be, you break 50 and there's certain caveats that happen when you hit certain marks. But I mean, it's interesting to see. Maybe next week I'll throw in something along these lines so we kind of dive into this topic a little bit deeper. Universal. I believe it. I forget what that is. I forget what that deal was exactly, like the fine print with that, but that seems crazy. 17 days. Like that's a very quick turnaround.
Yeah, I'm all the way here for it though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, as a moviegoer, you go see it. If you're excited for the movie, you go see it in the first week, and then you want to like have it at home. But anyway, good comment. Thank you, Brian. This has been a nice little ending.
Yes, it has. David, where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, you guys can find me at David Thompson on Facebook, at David J. Thompson on TikTok and Instagram. And please go follow me on Twitter. That's where I'm most active. It's where I just updated my profile picture and header cover photo thing to match our brand new logo, which we revealed almost 2 hours ago on this podcast. Super exciting. Shout out again to Tom Drew for making that for us. But yeah, David Thompson on Twitter with 2 A's. What's up?
That's my fault. I was saying Tom fucking Drew. He drew the shit out of us.
Literally.
There it is. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. You can find all of those links at linktree.com/words TCRochesterACT. TCRochesterACT. Been a long day. Can't wait to go to bed. My God, it's gotta be amazing. LightsThunderAction can also be found at all of these beautiful locations on your screen. Simplifying it, it is, of course, linktree.com/LightsThunderAction. All one word. There are no hyphens, no spaces. And you can find us live streaming all the time, coming to you from the HWWS WebTV family. Got there at the end, and that includes Brian Wenzeloff. And it's tonight on Mark Knows Everyone, which I will be on next week. Plug.
Nice.
Nicole is going to be on, and that is Brian's wife, also co-host of Reels and Heels. Yes. It's gonna be a fun time on that. There's a lot of fun people going to be on that. David, plugs for you, and then I'll do my plugs.
Yeah, just check out the Direct podcast, thedirect.com. They're doing great things over at the podcast feed, and I've been writing some articles. I've wrote a couple today. I wrote an article, 5 time travel movies. I'm getting tongue twisted over here. That you should watch before Loki. You don't necessarily have to watch them, but you should go read the article and read about my thoughts on them. And I try to pick movies that maybe not be the most stereotypical. I picked Back to the Future, of course, for one of them because it's my favorite movie of all time. But I picked some other. I mean, it's one of the main reasons I had the idea. But I wanted to talk about some other movies that aren't necessarily known for being time travel movies and discuss how all those different time travel methods and elements change from movie to movie as it compares to the MCU and Loki.
Bless you.
I appreciate that. What about you, Thomas? Anything to plug?
Absolutely. So, next week I will be on Mark B. Lee's Mark Knows Everyone. It's going to be another 4 a.m. that day. It's going to be a long day. Next week, we'll figure out when our show is, if we have a show. I'm going to be at Pensacon next weekend. I'll be hosting a panel. in person. I can't freaking wait. So
It's gonna be
excited.
awesome.
100% going to be Thor the whole weekend because it's been a long time and Daddy needs to stretch his legs.
Is there gonna be some sort of stream for the panel?
Probably not.
Okay. Just wondering.
Able to record it. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be about what we do in the shadows, and I have what's today? Loki's day. I've got about a week to cram 2 seasons and a movie into my brain and my schedule.
Good luck.
That's gonna be great. I start filming zombies soon. Again, go to linktr.com/zombies the movie. Excuse me. ZOMBEZTHEMOVIE. I'm so stoked to start filming that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we've now come to the end. We've kind of run out of show. So first off, thank you to this Clark Kent doppelganger to my right, world famous journalist David Thompson, bringing the news and spicy webs to you. Thank you to Terry McIver for his hard work behind the scenes. He is literally following my improv on random ads that I'm picking and posting where to find them in the comments because he is an absolute legend. Thank you to HWWS for supporting us and carrying us on the network. Most importantly, thank you to you, our fans that join us weekly, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
Thank you guys. Or listening via Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or Spreaker.
We appreciate you spending your time with us.
Please like, follow, subscribe, drop us a comment, leave a review, and give us 5 stars if you're feeling generous. We really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for joining episode 56 of Lights, Thunder, Action. We've said goodbye before, so it stands to reason.
We'll say hello again. Bye, everyone.
Chef's kiss, everyone.